about the cleaning techniques that are available. What are the options for you? You have clean in place, you have semi-automatic or clean out of place, and finally manual cleaning. Now in the case of clean in place or clean out of place equipment like ultrasonic tanks, etc., they have to be treated on par with any major subsystems in the manufacturing system. In other words, you're advised to follow the recommendations from the standard ASTM 2500E specifications for pharmaceutical and biopharmaceutical manufacturing facilities, and follow the recommendations there, the guidelines given there. Now you have ISP Baseline Guide Volume 12 explaining how to implement it. The highlight over there is that it is no longer the good old days of DQIQ, QPQ. It is a question of a holistic approach towards proper design by a person qualified to design it. So they've introduced an entity called a subject matter expert. So CIP systems shall be entrusted to a subject matter expert who will participate in the design, oversee the installation, draw up his own verification plan, carry out his verification tests, and then have them all recorded in a verification report, and this will be reviewed jointly by the subject matter expert and the QA. Having done all this, the whole exercise is reviewed by an independent subject matter expert who is not involved in the CIP design or installation, who reviews it to see if everything is in order and whether it is appropriate and fit for intended use, and then releases it. This is the procedure to be followed for CIP equipment. But it's not as if there are no concerns. Now the major highlights are as-built piping diagrams, sanitary piping systems, no ball valves to be used, pipes and valves tagged and identified, and operators properly trained. When CIP systems are used for different manufacturing equipment in a single facility, the design of CIP systems should preclude cross-contamination through appropriate valving and backflow prevention. Shared devices that apply cleaning agents, such as spray balls or spray nozzles, are the weak links in the system and require special consideration. Any recirculation within the CIP system should be carefully configured during system design and monitored closely during routine operation. With COP equipment such as ultrasonic tank, generally used for multiple equipment loads, removal of contaminants from the sink is a major concern. Where sinks and washers use recirculation systems to economically remove residuals from surfaces, the cleanliness of the recirculating material should be evaluated to ensure that contaminants are not being redeposited on the cleaned equipment. And finally, we have the manual cleaning, where every auditor and inspector would like to look at the training and the effectiveness of the training, the SOPs that you have, the details provided in the SOP. Specific product identified, dismantling method detailed, cleaning agents identified, dilutions documented, cleaning sequences described, hardest to clean point identified, visual inspections, provision for documentation, etc. Now, this is something that all of you are familiar with. If there is manual cleaning, then there shall be a proper supervisor, there shall be proper SOPs, there shall be proper training. Nothing new. But what is being overlooked is, it is manual cleaning, not a machine cleaning. Now, all of you are aware that some of you are very fastidious about cleaning, and some of you just dislike cleaning. You can go out into your parking lot, whether it's two-wheelers or four-wheelers. Some of those vehicles will be gleaming, and some of them will be dust-laden. You can look at the shoes of people around you. Some of them will be shining. You can see their face, and some of them will be absolutely shoddy. This is the difference between manual cleaning and machine cleaning. Once you set the parameters right, the machine will keep consistently repeating its performance. But expecting repeatability, reproducibility, consistency from human beings is not so very simple. So the suggested way to do it is first identify those for whom cleaning is a passion. If it is a passion, it's not a chore. It is not something that you do with distaste and dislike and hate. You love it. There are people who go on, you just go to their houses and you see their brasswares gleaming. They are always doing something or the other. The owner of McDonald's used to say to all his people who were waiting for customers to come in, and till then they were free. So he said, if you can lean, you can clean. So there are those for whom cleaning is an obsession, a magnificent obsession. It is better that we have a system in place by which we first identify who are those willing to volunteer for becoming members of the cleaning crew. It is not something forced on them as it is now. Manufacturing has to do it, production supervisors overseeing it, and the operators are sitting and cleaning. It's good if those operators are also passionate about cleaning. But if there is somebody who's not too interested in cleaning, then it's better to keep such people out. Now you must have an SOP by which you are able to qualify your cleaners. So you give them something to clean and see how effectively they've cleaned it by having a proper verification method. For example, a recovery. Now, for example, the higher the recovery, the lower the efficiency of cleaning. The lower the recovery, the better the cleaning. So if you have a whole group of 15 people and you give them, say, 3 replicates or 5 replicates or 7 replicates, because you can't judge a person with asking him to do it once. If you ask him to do once, he might do a brilliant job. You ask him to do it 5 times, you might find that once he did it brilliantly, 2 times he did it okay, and 3 times it was absolutely shoddy, or 2 times it was absolutely shoddy, whatever. So we don't want such one-off brilliant players. People, for example, who keep failing in a match after match after match, and in the last match of the tour, they score 100. So automatically get selected for the next tour. We don't want people like that. We want people who are consistent. So you have this exercise carried out, whatever be the way you want to plan it out. But there has to be a way by which you can judge objectively the consistency of different operators. Now, assuming you are able to identify some 10 people, 3 of whom have excellent consistency. For example, their RSD, if you were to look at the mean value and the standard deviation, the RSD is less than 3%. And you have another 3 whose RSD is less than 5%. And you have the remaining 4 whose RSD is around 7%. Now, you not only got them qualified, you've also been able to rank them. So you know who are the best cleaners and you know who are the average cleaners. And you have eliminated those for whom cleaning is a punishment. Now you're ready to be able to bring about some kind of consistency, reproducibility in your cleaning process. This is an SOP, a protocol, a procedure that I strongly recommend, since the procedure of cleaning is heavily man-dependent. So if the man loves his job, then chances are he will consistently give you what results that you are looking for.